It's like croutons in a soup.
Don't turn down any opportunity, whether it's a camp, a clinic, because you never know literally who's watching.
Make your own decision and stick with them and know they're the right decisions, right? And even if they aren't right, don't regret them.
He didn't know creatine existed.
So you got some creatine? He's like, oh, yeah. Lift heavyweight.
Shipped across the border. I shipped across the border.
Shipped across the border, man.
Welcome back to Shipped Across the Border. This.
Hey.
I bet so we're live. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Shipped Across the Border. My name is Max. I'm here with Chris, and today we got on one of my high school teammates, longtime friend, native to Spain, and all-around good guy. Just finished up his 4-year college career at Kenyon College in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, pretty close to Columbus. Gambier, the town, but yeah.
And so he's going to instill some lessons learned from 4 years of college. He's had a interesting college experience in terms of coaching changes, injuries, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. So what's going on, bro? How's your day going so far?
Good. I mean, no, retired career now, totally different weekend though, so no workouts or anything, but trying to get to the rest of the semester now.
Wait, what do you do now? Like, you're retired. What do you do that's not basketball related?
Honestly, we had a pretty big class of seniors this year. There was 9 of us, so the guys still need they need numbers to run pickup. So I try to play with them at least once a week, if not twice a week. Keep lifting, keep trying to stay in shape because it's really easy to slack off, especially when you don't have like a clear goal coming up.
That's relatable. Yeah. Talk a little bit about this season, for how your team did, how you did personally, the things that you had to overcome, and kind of how you're leaving basketball and the state you are as hanging them up, if that makes sense.
Yeah. This season for me was sort of everything against overcoming the challenge. Last year in December, I was playing a big role in the team, starting center, getting a lot of minutes, shooting like 50% from the three, which has been my top strength all through high school. And then in December, I tore my ACL and my meniscus, and had to like pretty much learn how to walk again, learn how to run again, and overcome like all the challenges that were thrown at me during that time. And so this year, my goal was to be able to come back. I was in pace to be able to start playing first pickup of the year. And then in the first practice session of the year, I tore my meniscus again and had to get a second surgery this year. So it's been a lot of up and downs in this past 2 years. The team was expected to be even better. This is the second year that we had a new coach. He came from Williams, really, really good coach, a really good assistant core as well.
Duncan Robinson won. Yeah, I know.
And yeah, I know the team was supposed to like do really good. We started with a rough out of conference schedule. We were playing a lot of teams, really good teams in the OAC. Ended up, I think we won 1 game in out of conference, and a lot of the team vibes were down. But we started winning games in conference. We placed the highest we've ever been in conference since I've been here, and we sort of left the program in the goal that we had, leaving the program better than we came here after 4 years. For me personally, I got to play the last 7 games of the season, which it was a lot after over a year of not touching a basketball and not being able to feel myself back in the court. But we ended up racking some good wins, being our top rival Denison. They were 17th in the country, beat them in double overtime. I played a big minutes in there and hit some big shots in overtime. So it was a tough end of the year because we didn't make the playoffs. But I'm happy with how we ended. I'm happy with all the work that all the guys put in.
Yeah, their conference is extremely tough conference, and next year John Carroll's joining their already very tough conference. Yeah. And so it's one of I'd say it's probably like a top 5-10 conference in
probably
Division III college basketball. We record in the library right now, and like there's a bunch of different rooms.
I think
and so the girls
just got locked out.
The girls, there was like a group of girls studying in one of the other rooms, and I guess they locked themselves out. Now they're contemplating life.
Okay, but I want to ask, as somebody who has been blessed to have an injury-free career, I've never had to redshirt or do anything like sit on the sidelines because of injuries. So how do you contribute and stay involved and stay like locked in, even though you're not playing any minutes for the team?
For sure. I think, the main piece is pretty much taking care of yourself, because a lot of times, even mentally, it's just hard to go from a starting position role where you're having the ball out in your hands, playing a lot of minutes to just like getting that taken away from you, not even having the chance to like contribute much in practice, like physically, not being able to even stay in practice because you need to see the training room and the trainers a lot and all the time, especially having to miss practices and games because of surgeries and all that recovery piece that comes with it. So from what I learned, especially when I tore my ACL as being a junior, when I was also playing a big leadership role in the team, I think the main piece here is being vocal. A lot of times, like, again, you can't do stuff on the court, so you need to be able to like help the team otherwise, as if it's being like giving advice to the guys or just like being positive and convincing everyone that whatever's going on right now is just going to go away. Like being able to help the guys as much as you can.
For sure. I think another part that's kind of, I guess, overlooked in the whole thing, or like people might not realize that adds to the difficulty of the position that you're in, is you're very, very far from home too. So like you're getting surgery, you're rehabbing and doing all of this kind of on your own in a sense. And so do you have any like kind of stories about how the community or how made you kind of feel better, or like, or maybe a story of like when it was mad difficult just being so far away from home while dealing with that type of stuff?
For sure. I think the biggest piece, I mean, I tore my ACL, I think it was the first week in December. And so I didn't get surgery until the week before Christmas. So it was those 2 weeks, right? But my school, for a little bit of background, is in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. We're again an hour away from Columbus. So it's a really small town. I think, the college has 2,000 people too. So really, really small place where I'm at. And during winter break, because a lot of people are not from Ohio, there ends up being 100 kids on campus. So I had to go through all the recovery piece and all the first 2 weeks of the recovery piece by myself. Because again, there was no one on campus. All my roommates flew home for the week because basketball, we ended up having like 4 or 5 days off. I got surgery when everyone was out. One of my friends had to take me there. Another friend had to pick me up because they had to get back to a game. It was a messy situation. My mom ended up being able to fly out and help with what she could. But again, she also had to work back in Spain, so she didn't really have the flexibility on that. It takes like about a day almost to get here with all the connections and whatnot. So it was a lot of downtime for myself and just locking into my living room, sat on the game ready and watching all the basketball I could for a week or two until my mom got here. But I mean, it's what made me grow, and it's what made me become a better person, I think, mentally.
Yeah, like what lessons do you think you kind of took away from that whole experience?
I think like being able to reflect when I'm alone too. I feel like a lot of people need to spend a lot of time with music or spend a lot of time watching something on the TV or even like or even like listen to a podcast, right? And I'm a big for that. Like I listen to music all the time, but especially during that time, it was a lot of me sitting down again and in the living room. There was nothing on, middle of the day, like just reflecting, getting into a notebook, write down what my goals were, what I'm doing well, what I think I should do well, trying to like prepare for the future, right? Because especially on that recovery part, there was a lot of times where I cannot like move to the next step until like I bend my knee past however many degrees. So like there was goals that I need to reach and like things that I need to get better at. But again, being able to focus on like that, those things will come with time and not being able to like try to rush the process.
It's gonna be a bit of a side tangent, but how long did you spend? You were born in Spain.
Yeah.
And how long did you spend in Spain before you came here?
So I came to the U.S. Sophomore year in high school. So I believe I was 15 at the time.
Okay. Were you playing basketball in Spain?
Yes.
Would you consider? We gotta compare some play styles. Then, what do you think is do you like Spanish basketball more or American basketball more?
I personally like European basketball better. I mean, Max and I talked about this a lot. I watched the EuroLeague. I paid for the EuroLeague pass every year since I was in high school. So I try to watch as much as I can. But overall, it's totally different basketball. I think the U.S. here, you guys are way more physical, less play and set oriented. Whereas in Europe, I've been running sets since I was like 12 years old. Like we were supposed to learn a playbook as we were going into middle school and almost spending as much time studying for that as we were studying for classes. So I think like it's a totally slower pace when we're back home. Also, in the rules that we play with the shot clock, whereas in the state of Ohio, at least high school didn't have a shot clock. So that was a big thing for me too. And again, Max will know about this. We'll be playing a team that we were definitely better than. and we would be up 20, but the other team was comfortable with that, and they'll just hold the ball, and like make sure we wouldn't
We
score.
would literally run flex until he had a layup or I had open three. Just like a minute of
That's
flex.
dude. When I played in Ohio as a Canadian who would do like AAU tournaments and they turn the shot clock off, that would make me so mad when they would just sit there at the top of the key and just look at you and you feel helpless. You can't
You
do
can't do anything.
Yeah.
Or like we played a lot of zone in high school. So like we would go through a 1-3-1 and the other team would just didn't know what to do. And so they would just pass the ball around the top of the 1-3-1 until I scored. Like literally.
And it's so mentally challenging too.
Because the one who he got him off the glass.
It was like so mentally challenging because you're guarding a possession for 90 seconds, 80 seconds, even 60 seconds that you shouldn't be guarding for that long ever. So yeah, it was definitely a big change.
I also want to hear about Spanish food. Do you feel like the quality of the food went down significantly when you moved here?
Yeah. I mean, Max can attest to this too, but I mean, our boarding school, and my brother goes to the same boarding school that I went to now. He would agree with what I'm saying too, but it's our food choices are definitely limited. I mean, they need to cook for however many 400 kids 3 meals a day, and as much food as they try to cook, and with the budgets that they're trying to run, like the quality is not great. And so we ended up ordering a lot of DoorDash all the time, especially when we've been living indoors for 7. I've been living indoors for 7 years already. So.
Or we would go to Barrio. There's this like, you know where we drive to Amherst?
Sure.
So our team's playing like a spring league.
Okay.
Like all together, and it's right beside like Amherst College. You heard of Amherst, like in the Nest?
Yeah.
So they literally have like a downtown Willoughby. So it's basically like a downtown strip, and it's in Willoughby, Ohio, and all there is in that entire town is that downtown strip. And there's ice cream shops, there's bars. We weren't old enough to ever like.
We weren't old enough.
Imagine if downtown Willoughby was like right next to your college campus now. Like it'd be unbelievable.
That'd be definitely better. Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
And so it was like bars, ice cream. There was like a shoe store. There was different restaurants. There was a bunch of stuff. And there's this one taco place called Barrio. You could get like a custom taco, or like a burrito bowl for like $5.
Yeah.
And so I would go and get like 3 taco bowls. Or like you could get like.
Or you get tacos for $2. Yeah.
$2 tacos, bro. And so we go there a bunch. Where else did we eat?
The sushi place too.
The school. Did they pay for that? They did. We had to pay for that. So
I think they gave us a discount or something. But
something that our school did is like, because there was a lot of international students, there was these weekend events. So they would like charter a bus, and it would be like bring anyone who signs up to Target. Like it was always Target on Fridays. So like anyone who wants to get groceries or whatever could go on Fridays. And then there was this sushi place. So it's the sushi and hot pot, all you can eat, and that would be like once or twice a month. And then there was like Cedar Point, or what is it called? The
Cedar Point. I think they took us to the bowling alley.
Canada's Wonderland type of thing. There's a bunch of different other things, but we would always go to the sushi events.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they didn't pay for it.
I don't think so. It was pretty interesting too, because Max and I were whatever the RA comparison would be to like high school, boarding school, I guess. And so we were the ones that got to like help decide the events and the times of that. So we would try to time it. So we would have a pickup before or something. So we would go from pickup straight to all you can eat sushi.
It was
great.
Me and Alex Semenov, you met Alex before.
Yeah.
One of my good friends. He was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. But we oftentimes talk about how we overlooked our time at AOA. Like, because when you're there's not much to do around. And keep in mind, like we were like 18, 17, 16. Juan was only 15. So like you're not old enough to actually enjoy. Like you can't go out. But also like there's a lot more rules. Like you have a curfew. You can't be out of the dorm by like 10 o'clock on weekdays, 11 on weekends or something. And
it was COVID too that year. It was even more restrictions.
Yeah. And you have like a house parent who like was an amazing lady. Or my house parent her name was Miss Tracy. She's an amazing lady. But like she's responsible for you. And there's like the Res Life director, and there's a bunch of different like people who are like making sure like so your freedom is a lot more restricted than it is in college.
Sure.
Like if you don't go to class, like someone's knocking on your door, or like you basically have to sign out every time you left the dorm to go somewhere.
That would make me very mad. Like
it was
very
mad. But it's necessary. But it was a little. Sometimes you just like, damn, we gotta like do whatever, or like you just feel stuck, especially when you're away from home. But looking back on those times like that, like, I would do anything to go back.
It's the nature of life.
To those times. And then I feel like that progresses to like, I guarantee those times like, bro, I would do anything to go back to Madai,
Yeah.
which is our previous school. And then I'm sure like Juan, you're gonna in a couple of years you'd be like, I'd do anything to go back to Kenyon, even
bet,
when
yeah.
it felt like you were sitting at the bottom of a long, dark, deep hole.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with the stuff that you dealt with this year, or when you guys aren't winning games or not getting the playing time you'd like. But I think it's important to like really appreciate the unique, special things about every position that you're in as you move, because as you move through life, you know.
I feel like it's interesting too because like the high school we went to, our dorms were really small. So there was pretty much 5 or 6 houses where each house would have 15 to 18 people. And so you would get really, really close to those 15 people rather than like a big dorm where like there's doors everywhere, right? And so we would have like house meetings every week. And so those 15 guys, like they were your boys. Like you would spend all day with them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you got guys doing dumb shit while like our house parents trying to like deliver us messages.
That's
also like, so my first year was like the heat of COVID. So like we had to do COVID tests 3 times a week. So the entire house would be downstairs in the living room doing COVID tests. Like, and there have been times where like there were actual times where like someone had COVID and then we like mask him up and send to his room and like we'd rotate getting him food. And like it was just a crazy time. But I wouldn't trade it for the world, and I would kill to go back to those. It just felt like there was so much less, even though there was so much more rules, I had so much less freedom. It felt like I had so much less responsibility as well. You know, like with more freedom comes more responsibility, more stuff to do, more, I guess, options. And so yeah.
Do you cook for yourself?
Now I try. I mean, in the dorm, the thing is, there was only one dorm in high school that had a kitchen. Everything else was like we wouldn't have a stove in the high school dorm that we were in. So
you didn't have a stove.
And when we were in AOA, no, we did not have a stove in there. It was only the one dorm that had it.
Which one?
The girls' dorm. It sounds bad, but I mean it's how it is. It was the one dorm. It did not.
Are you sure? I feel like
I'm 1,000% sure of it. I bet.
I mean, I never.
No, it was crazy, but I do know. I mean, especially the more times I spend here at Kenyon and all the breaks that we have here at Kenyon, the dining hall's closed, so that forces us to like at least like learn the basics because we have practice too. Like practices are going on, but we don't get any food. The coaches help us here and there. But if we need to, like, they give us some money for the week. So if we don't cook, then our money's going away real quick if we like go to McDonald's or anything. So we end up trying to learn how to cook. And I think I'm getting better the longer I've been here.
What have you cooked?
What's your favorite dish?
I was gonna say, I mean, we started with the classic like sort of burrito bowls. Like we try to make like the chipotle bowls that we can, throw some veggies in there, onion, peppers, whatever. Now I'm trying to get more into Spanish food, so. Our main dish back home is called tortilla, which is like a potato omelet. Really simple. It's like eggs, potatoes, onions. And it's like when my parents make it, it's really easy to make. Now that I've learned it, it took me a while to figure out. But I mean, I think I'm getting pretty good at it.
I need to try some authentic Spanish paella. My mom, you stayed at my house?
I stayed at your house.
Did my mom ever cook paella? She makes paella. It's good. It's just white people paella. It's not like, it's not like ethnic. It's not authentic. And so it's very good. But like, we also don't eat seafood in our house, so it's like it's not. I love seafood, so it's not the same.
Why don't you eat seafood?
I mean, like shrimp, mussels, that stuff's not kosher.
Oh, I see.
So we don't eat that stuff inside the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
But paella is fire, and I think potentially my family's going to go to Spain after I graduate next year.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be.
We'll have to talk then more. We'll have to talk.
Yeah, we'll have to make a plan. I was going to ask something, but I forgot. I had something. Talk about what you're doing kind of postgraduate after you graduate, which is probably the next month?
In the next 2 months.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I know. So I think my view of what I wanted to do with life shifted a lot after the ACL, especially because and I've told Max this a while, but my whole plan was to try to play here 4 years and then see if I could make it overseas somewhere. So either play, I know I could have played some league in Spain, and even now up to the ACL, I think I still probably would have a chance. But because of obviously you're not 100% when you get back, and it's really hard to get back to the same position that you were before the injury. And especially once you have an injury, you're not more likely to get another again, but you're also not less likely, like after all your recovery and stuff. So I didn't want to risk it. My parents have been fighting a lot for me being able to have a future, me being able to, they send me here pretty early to have an opportunity for better education. Kenyon is a really good school too. And so after the ACL, especially, I really wanted to start applying for internship jobs, and it shifted my mentality completely. And that now I'm going to stay in the United States in next year. I'm moving down to Memphis to work as a business data analyst for a pretty big company, DHL.
We're locked in for that?
We're locked in for that. Offer letter signed, looking for apartments now. So
Yeah, he's locked.
Memphis, yeah.
So that's awesome. How passionate are you about this new field of work? Because me and Chris had a very long, in-depth conversation yesterday while I was on duty in the office. He was keeping me company. And we were talking about, because I want to go into finance.
Okay.
And so this random joker popped up on my For You page and was just explaining, like, so if you want to go into finance and be an investment banker, private equity, you should already know this, but if you don't know this, you should have started this freshman year, but if you don't, you should start now. And it was like 400 chapters of like, yeah. And like, I feel like the people who want to go into the thing that I thought I wanted to do are so passionate about it that like they're spending the time doing this stuff on top of their education, the same way that I'm spending time with basketball on top of my education.
And 14-hour work weeks.
Yeah. And they're like super okay with doing 80-hour work weeks, working 14 hours a day, like slaving away for a paycheck. And it's like, do I really want to do that, or do I want to pivot? I'm kind of been thinking about that now. So like, how passionate are you about what you're doing right now?
Yeah, no, I think especially this summer I interned for them too, so it gave me a pretty good idea of what I'll be doing. But I mean, I'm a math and econ double major, so the stats piece of it and the data science of it, like I have some of the background, so at least I'm pretty confident of my abilities in that. The big thing I think is the opportunity piece, especially as an international student. It's like do or die. Like if I didn't get a job that would sponsor my visa, like I would be flying back to Spain in the next 2 months, and I might never touch the US for a while.
A little outside motivation type of thing.
For sure. So that's a big piece, that me being able to get an opportunity, making someone be able to trust on me and to give me the chance to get a job and help me stay here too. I think that's a big piece. But I think the biggest thing about me coming back and working for this company is the company culture. Like it's a really good company. They understand work-life balance. Like they're not overworking you, as well as like they're trying to grow the business, obviously, but they're trying to like take care of the people. There's people that I met this summer that had been at the same company for 30 years, 25, 45 years. And it's a lot. Like it's like, especially in the culture that we are here in the United States, like people change jobs every year or two. For a company to have like the tenure that other companies might not, I think that shows how much they care about their workers and how much like I'll be able to put into this company.
Yeah, because we were talking and like we went into a whole different couple of tangents of like how much money you actually need to like live comfortably and all these different types of things. Have you thought about that? How much money? Because you're getting an apartment for yourself and kind of financially supporting yourself after this year. So you got to pay for groceries, which you haven't had to do, solely rely on. Obviously, you're going to get a car so you can be able to rent. You're going to have to pay for a lease, insurance, gas. Have you thought about any of that? This is kind of a different type of conversation that I thought
fucking grown up
we were going to have. This is kind of more of a grown-up conversation, but I think it fits perfectly in the timeline of Juan, what you're kind of going through now. Put any thought into that?
I think about that, especially looking at the future, because I think I don't know when, but in the near future, I do want to go back to Spain at some point. Like I moved here when I was 15, and like I've missed like a lot of time spent with my friends from back home, which I still keep up with. Like a lot of time spent with my family, like my brother's growing up too. Like that's a lot of stuff that I've missed, and like I want to make sure that in the future I can get back to maybe not my old life, because obviously it would be step up in life, but I'm thinking in my head like how much money would I need to save so I can be back in Spain in however many years, right? And a lot of times that number, and I don't know why, but a lot of times the number is $100,000. I'm like, if I go there with $100,000
saved up,
especially saved up, like in the bank, no bills, no nothing, just $100K in the bank. I think that's I don't know why I think that, but cost of life in Spain is way cheaper too. Like,
what's the dollar conversion from American to Spanish dollars?
I think it's pretty. We have euros, and I think it's pretty even. Like
I asked them if they use like the peso or whatever, but they use a euro, which is.
No.
So, 1.3 to 1. Euro is stronger, I think.
Euro is stronger than the
Euro
American
is,
dollar.
Euro is stronger. I don't know about 1.3 to 1 now. It's been going up and down.
Well, the
a
American
lot.
dollar has dropped a lot too in the last
Yeah.
or day and a half.
Undisclosed
Yeah.
reasons we won't mention on this podcast. But
Non-political podcast.
That's
I'm not politically affiliated
Basketball.
with anybody at all.
Balls to the hoop.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like the cost of living in Spain is way cheaper. Like I'm probably gonna make 3 times what I would make in Spain if I had the same job. So I throw the number in my head, 100K. I can probably get a down payment for my car or for a house in Spain. I'll be able to afford a car. I'll be able to have enough that I'll be living comfortably as well as like having a job back there.
Yeah, I thought about the same thing because we're both Canadian, and so like obviously the dollar is way stronger in America than it is in Canada, and so like trying to get an American visa, like a full-time visa, is basically impossible, and you would know that. So like I've sort of realized that at this point, if I can get a sponsorship from a company, I can probably be here for like maybe 3 years, but then after that, it's going to be kind of impossible to get someone to fully sponsor me to stay here.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that we were talking about yesterday is how, like, for example, in Canada, the poorest state in the U.S., which is Mississippi, is wealthier than the richest province in Canada in terms of like
Per capita. So the average dollars equated, the richest province is BC, right?
I think so, yeah.
And so the richest per capita province is BC, and on average, I think it's $59,000 per person. And in Mississippi, it's 60,000. So
something like
That's
that.
insane.
yeah, and so it's like a really kind of we get
also-
taxed to oblivion.
Yeah.
So there's like if you make between $40,000 and $90,000, you get
Canadian.
taxed at 30%, which you would
That's
have to
in
make.
Canada. Yeah.
So
Canadian
you'd have
dollars.
to make like $190,000 in the U.S. to be taxed at the same amount with no income tax,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. So we were kind of having, I don't know what kind of provoked, or it was me seeing this investment banker dude on my For You page. We kind of just provoked this very mature conversation. And yeah, so I'm starting to rethink like kind of what I want to do. And I think I definitely want to prioritize, like you said, work-life balance as opposed, like I don't see a world where I'm working 16, like I can't just wake up, work, and then sleep.
It's tough, man. It's like, yeah. It's like that I forgot his name, but it's like the one guy that went viral on TikTok for putting the banana peels in his face and everything.
Oh,
The,
no idea.
With the Saratoga water.
the Saratoga water and
You haven't
everything.
seen that?
Not a clue.
Chris isn't online
Right.
enough.
It's it's like that. Yeah, it's like it's one of those people that are like wake up, it's 4 a.m., get a lift in, like
Wait, is it the
get a
guy that
cold
like jumped
shower,
off the
read.
diving board and it took him 4 minutes to land in the
Yes,
water?
yes.
That guy? Okay.
Yeah, it's that guy. It's like obviously that's not realistic, but like I do not want to be a guy that needs to wake up at 6 a.m. or maybe not 6 a.m. but like 4 a.m. to be able to like accomplish all that. Like I understand there's people that are about that level of hustle and about that level of accomplishment, but I think I put enough passion in like the life that I want to have and like be able to like have a comfortable life for me, my family, and my friends, rather than like reach up as many dollars I can get. At the end of the day.
I've slowly become very contrarian thanks to this guy named Alex Ramosi, who one of his sayings is "fuck your morning routine," because like whether you have one or not, if you go out and make $10 million, no one really cares. So like if you don't need one, trying to force yourself into this rigid box of like I need to do this, and this. If you're competing against someone who doesn't need to do that, and then they miss their morning routine and you don't even have one, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage for no reason.
I mean, yeah, but I think he's more talking about like he won't be able to go to the gym unless you wake up at 4 a.m. because you have to.
Ramosi?
No, just in general. Like he doesn't want like for me, for example, like, I don't want to live a life where I'm working 7 to 9, like we talked about, where the only time I can actually go to the gym is that if I wake up at 4 in the morning.
I think I would be fine with that. And I actually think, I don't know you well enough to know this, but I think you'd be fine with that too. It just takes a level of passion, or it's kind of a shitty word, but something where you're so invested in the thing that you're building, your craft or whatever it is, that 14 hours doesn't feel like 14 hours. Like I'm sure you've worked days where you woke up, went to go hoop, came back, and like you put in the hours for hooping, but it didn't feel like a 14-hour day because you enjoyed it so much.
That's why, circling back to like, the first question that we asked about this entire topic, which I was curious, is how passionate are you about what you're doing and the work that you're doing, and do you think that you can invest all like this type of energy, maybe the parallels like of how much energy you've invested into basketball into what you're currently doing now, or do you see this as more of like a stepping stone to doing something else?
No, I see it as a stepping stone. I think it's. I mean, especially with thinking back about how much time I put into basketball in my life, it's like I started playing when I was 3. Like I've been around a hoop. My dad and my mom have both hoop when they were younger. Like I come from a really sports focused family too. So I don't think, and it's gonna be hard, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to find something I'll be as passionate about as basketball. Like it's something that I put so much time into in my life, and I don't even think, I can find anything that comes close to that too.
Are you gonna do anything to kind of like fill that void of competition of basketball? Maybe play in men's leagues or something like that.
I'll definitely join the men's league. I mean,
They
I
got a
wanna
Brody
play.
League out in Memphis.
I don't think they got a Brody League in Memphis. I might have to make an appearance to your Canada Brody League over the
You might have
summers.
to start a Brody League. Be like the commissioner of a Memphis Brody League.
Hey, honestly, no. We got to see what leagues are out there, but I definitely want to keep hooping. Continue with what I'm passionate about, what I enjoy doing.
What other things are you kind of passionate about, and maybe that you were leaning towards while you're injured, but also now that kind of basketball is you're hanging them up, that you have more time to focus on?
I think the big thing too is the big thing with my passions too is I'm really passionate about the connections that I made with my friends back home, as well as like the ones that I made when I was abroad. Right, I try to reach out to people. That was one of the main things that I did when I got injured. I went into my reminders app in my phone, and I set a reminder to at least every 2 months reach out to like one different friend. So like it would work out where like every 2 or 3 weeks I would text one of my friends, and so then I wouldn't text them until 2 months after, to at least make sure that like I might have not talked to that person for a year or since I left Spain, but I'm trying to like at least keep my connections close, and that's something I'm really passionate about.
Sure, bro. Dude, we did yesterday in our lift. We had to do farmers carries
Okay.
with 80s in each hand.
Okay.
My traps and shoulders are just like shot.
Do they tell you the weight you need to put, or you got a little excited out there?
No.
They set the weight.
Our strength coach sets the weight. So we're doing some interesting stuff. We just talked about this on the last episode. Well, so I'll keep it light. But we're doing like one by 20 stuff. So we have 20 different exercises. Each one we're doing one set of 20 reps per. And
Okay.
if you can't do 20 reps at the certain weight, then you just take a break and you mark how many breaks you've taken. But we're doing like pull-up. Like how many sets do you think it would take you to do 20 pull-ups?
Couple.
Yeah. So in high school, one couldn't even do one pull-up. To be fair, he was like 6'6". He was probably 6'6".
6'6", 230, 240. Yeah,
Okay.
big guy.
Good boy.
Are you in the weight room now?
I'm in the weight room now. I that's something honestly. Max and I laughing because whenever we're in high school, I've never in high school I did not touch a
The
single
biggest
weight.
slacker ever.
He honestly, if you're watching for Max that year, I might have actually not touched the weight room all year. We
I
had a
would
strength coach.
drag him into the gym. I would drag him into the gym.
Funny enough, we had a strength coach that like gave us a lift, and he was like an assistant coach part time, so he didn't come every time, but he would give us a lift. And one time, we were supposed to go like Tuesdays or Thursdays. And one time, he forgot to send the lift, and I was like, all right, that's a great idea. I don't have to go anymore. This guy, Max, changed the contact of one of his boys, and like asked him to send the lift as if he was the coach.
I forgot about this.
Sends the screenshot to me.
You're
And I'm like,
sadistic.
sends the screenshot to me. He's like, yo, I got the lift. We got to go. I was like, all right. We get to it. We're like warming up. And he's like, yo, I was kidding the whole time. My boy Alex told me, I was like, dude,
It was that. You want to hear something actually really funny? So whenever I was actually just playing Fortnite with Zach, like he's still one of my best friends before like we came over to record and stuff. And it says like Zach Cohen, and then under his like name, it says like coach. Because I never changed it, like the what do you call it? Like the company or
Contact.
whatever.
the company.
Okay.
So it was like, bro, it was so funny. I actually completely forgot that I did that. I knew I did it for something, but I completely forgot. Bro, I would actually drag him into the gym.
I don't blame you
I'm
though.
not-
The taller you get, the more annoying it is to lift weights because like the machines aren't built for people who are 6'6".
I'm talking to the basketball gym too.
No, I know, but
It
like,
was-
I had a 6'6", 230 teammate in high school, bigger than anybody, 6'7", honestly, in shoes.
Mhm.
And nobody
That was
And
putting
this guy-
17 a night.
And I dragged him into the gym. It was fire though. We had some good workouts. Me, him, and Gabe. Shout out Gabe.
No. Shout out Gabe. No, Max, honestly, I attribute a lot of my work to Max. Yeah. I mean, I tell to a lot of people that he's a hard worker and he's made me better because, yeah, for real, without this guy, I
Now I
probably would
drag
not
Chris
touch
into the
him.
gym. I drag Chris is like not. I mean, he's getting back into hooping now, but he's
Okay.
focused on his weightlifting, and I'll like see some drills on TikTok or like be working on some stuff and just be brainstorming of how I can do what I'm working on by myself and like translate it into like a drill that can help kind of bridge the gap and build those instincts. And Chris is my test dummy, and I'll just bring him into the gym and we'll just do stuff. And today he busted my ass.
Like I said, I think you should be glad that you don't have to drag me in the gym because, like, if I was there all the time, it might not look so pretty for you.
No, today was bad. We're doing some stuff off the catch, some stuff, just making different reads off of drifts, off of curls and stuff. And yeah, it was not good for me today. Chris,
I'm back. I'm absolutely back.
he's getting back
Sir.
into it, and it's getting. I mean, he's getting back into it, and I'm still recovering.
Still,
and
I mean-
my legs under me. I'm still sick as a dog. And so yeah, we got a good workout in today. But yeah, that Zach story is actually so funny. I completely forgot about that.
We had, bro. It was interesting.
That sums up me and Juan's relationship.
And no, even going back to our high school times, dude. It was a long time because again, I think we were the only international kids in the team that year.
It was COVID.
It was
So
COVID, so all the international
Oh, and
kids
Nicola.
that
And
were-
Nicola.
And Nicola's a different guy. Shout out to Nicola. I love that kid. But I mean, you and I were the only guys sort of like almost in Trey, I guess, but like trying to make it to the next hole. And,
Trey played
and
that
so
month
you
on
and I,
Thursday.
yeah, he did. And so we spent a lot of time like working out together, spending time like just hanging out around each other because it was just hard like to not have anyone else around the team too.
I think, yeah. So our team junior year was made up of a lot of kids who like basketball and just like were pretty good, but didn't take it like super seriously and were just like ultimate role players, just good guys.
Yeah.
And then it was three of us.
They're the boys though. Love the guys.
Me, you, and Trey, who ended up playing at the next level. So, but Trey didn't live on campus. He commuted.
Yeah.
So on campus, it was just me and Juan, and then like, yeah. And so, and Nikola also was on campus, but he didn't come until like the second half of the year because of
Yeah.
COVID and Serbian, I guess, travel restrictions or whatever.
It was a lot.
So, but we had such a good squad. Like my senior year, we were way more talented, and I think your junior year,
Yeah.
you guys were way more talented too. But we were the best that year because everybody just bought into their roles. Like the video that kind of explains it all is when we played against Euclid, and I threw a full court outlet pass to Clayton, one of our point guard, really like a 5'10" point guard, shot like Chris Boucher, like over two hands over his head. But he was fast as shit, super athletic.
Yeah.
He ended up playing D2 baseball.
Yeah.
He was just the ultimate role player. And so I threw him a full court pass. He took one dribble to the basket, turned around, and pitched it back to me. He was wide open for a layup. Wide open for a layup. He just turned it, pitched back to me, and I hit like a volleyball line three. And like that just like is a good example. Like summarizes like the unselfish teammates that we had. Like we had a bunch of just role players, and then we had us three like I guess studs in that league, and we were able to be really good. We were like 18-7, and then my senior year, we were way more talented. It was me. We had 7 guys playing college or have opportunities to play post secondary, and we were like 15-11. And your junior year, you guys also had you and Trey who played in college. Then you had
Oscar played in college. Chris played in college. Brandon played in college.
Like
Nico played in college. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, 6 guys, and they were probably around similar type of thing. So it really shows to how really close that team was. Because we would also it was also COVID, so everyone was kind of shut down.
Yeah.
We would go to Clayton's house, one of our teammates, the guy who we were just talking about.
Yeah, dude, we played.
His mom would just get like IHOP breakfast and
I'll mention that right now.
and just bring it over to their house, and we were just just grew up in the mornings, and it was an amazing time.
It was a hell of a year. Like we played games with like back to back nights because it was high school, and one of the nights we played with 6 guys. I remember Hawking. I don't ever remember that game. We went up there with literally 7 guys on the bench. There was 2 guys sitting on the bench. Us 5 playing however many minutes you play in Ohio. I think it's 8 1/4, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we were just going out. Ended up winning the game, and yeah, it was crazy fighting to adversity at that point too.
Less than a minute before this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a different link to a new Zoom, and we'll finish up the conversation.
Great.
We're back. We're going to get. You have Zoom Premium, or you have regular Zoom?
I have regular Zoom, I think.
I don't know who in the right mind bought Zoom Premium, but this is
Well, we're gonna probably have to buy Zoom Premium because this is getting annoying, and we're just starting to figure this stuff out and getting a roll and get our wheels turning on the virtual episodes, and so it's very, very nuisance. But to circle back to kind of more basketball related stuff, so you were saying how you obviously tore your ACL and meniscus again in the same year, but you were fortunately able to finish off your senior season and even hit a big shot to be probably like the biggest win of your school's in the last while.
Yeah.
And you were a big part of that. Played big minutes, hit a big shot. Kind of, what was those feelings like? Those emotions after that, knowing how hard you worked to get back to the position that you were in, and just kind of be able to help your team achieve that.
I think it was great. It was really emotional overall. I remember the first game that I got into after I was cleared this year. We played DePaul at home. That was actually the same last game that I played before I got injured, so it was almost like a full circle moment after like a whole year. And I remember coach called out my name, and inside I was tearing up already. I was like, dude, no way, this is what happened. Like it's been a whole year now. And I think it was a lot. It was fear inside of me too. Me not wanting me to do more than I thought I could, or trying to I was playing with the brace too, but I was definitely worried about my knee, making sure I didn't get that feeling again of going on the floor and not knowing what was going to happen. But overall, really emotional. It was great to be able to help my team in a different position that year too, being able to, as a senior in the team too, lead with experience rather than just being vocal on the bench. I think it was really helpful for me personally because I got to express what I wanted to say and actually show people what I wanted to express. But also helpful for the team because one, obviously they were getting back a senior center that had played 4 years of college basketball, but also got back someone on the team who likes to be vocal and likes to help others.
For sure. And I'm sure after you hit that shot, you're probably inside just beaming.
That was insane. It was overtime. Yeah, overtime of that game. Our best player was out that game too. He threw his back the practice before. So literally we went over there. They were 17th in the country. They had lost one game all year. Yeah. They had lost one game all year. They were undefeated in conference. We were hanging with them the whole time, going back and forth. We played. One of the guys, their main center, actually played at university school, so we actually played him in high school. Funny enough, and it was just going back and forth. I got the ball. I was like, all right, you know what? To just let it rip. Shot it. In my head, I was like, what's going on right now? But yeah, we ended up winning the game. Really happy overall again.
That's awesome. Another thing that I'm kind of curious about. So on the pod, we talk a lot about how when everything's all said and done, the things you remember the most are the memories and the times you spent with the team, whether it's in the weight room or we were talking about before in high school, going to all you can eat sushi after open gym. Those are really and obviously those big moments you just talked about at Denison as well. But more often you think of those the times where it's the team camaraderie and everything like that. So what are some kind of stories you got, any from high school or from college, that you're kind of going to remember for a long time about basketball?
Yeah, no, I'll say I got one each from high school. Going back to the hockey game that I mentioned before, again, we showed up with 7 guys. Big game. You and I had both big games. I think we got into some newspaper article. And
we're saying tell them what the newspaper said.
The newspaper said, and I hope you put this picture in there whenever you're making your clip, but it was Sergio had a double, 16, 7, 9, whatever. And then in the bottom said, Rolnick also had 12 points.
It was 14. It was 14. No, it was funny.
But I literally remember that time because newspaper didn't show up much either, and we didn't even get a locker room because of COVID. So I think they threw us in a classroom, a made up classroom outside the athletic center, and we were getting changed after the game, whatever. I'm just sitting down. We had played 40 minutes each because no one else could play that day, and our assistant coach comes up to me and Max and says, "Hey, this guy from the newspaper wants to talk to you guys and everything." And I'm like, "All right, cool." He can wait. We just played 40 minutes, and I'm taking my time, getting ready. This guy Max tapping on my shoulder, bro, we gotta go. What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? We gotta go. This guy's waiting for us. He's spazzing, going in a circle, pacing around. and it was a funny story from college. I think, all the trips that we've taken as a team, we've gone to Daytona Beach my sophomore year. We went to we played Grinnell at Iowa. So we drove to Iowa from Ohio. So that was definitely interesting too. And it was a really fun time. And this year we played at the NYU tournament where we lost to Williams in overtime too. Crazy game. But overall, I mean, like I got to go with all my boys here to New York City, spend 5 days. Same thing in Daytona Beach, like spend like 5-6 days. And just making those memories, hanging out, like doing whatever, even sitting on the room, just hanging out. I think it was great.
Awesome. I would ask him about grade 11 Max Rolnick.
Before we wrap it up with that, I just want curious, like, what's one piece of advice that you kind of give? Maybe it's to high school Juan, maybe it's right when he got to touchdown on U.S. soil, or maybe even before that. Like now that your basketball career is over, playing career.
Yeah.
What's one piece of kind of advice you'd give to mini Juan?
I'd say like push yourself a minute one. Like I think when I got to the US, I feel like I got a little complacent almost. Like, oh, I made it. But that was just a start. Like looking back at it now, like I'm really grateful that I got the body that I got 6'6", like be able to like overall, like for basketball, well suited body. I think if I would have like to push myself more when I was younger, like focus myself more in my goals, focusing myself more in like the eating habits that I would have, lifting more, spending more time in the gym. I think I probably could have like had even like less like an injury-free career and definitely probably a higher ceiling too, right? So I looking back at it, I'd say like don't stop working out, like don't stop, like go for your goals, because it's gonna pay off in the long term.
Sure.
Gonna finish off. I want to know what it was like being around a grade 11 Max Rolnick.
I haven't been around him for a minute now because obviously he went to Ohio. I went back to Ohio, but he was definitely.
We almost teamed up too. We almost teamed up at Kenyon.
We almost teamed up.
Crazy.
Yeah. My old coach was recruiting him actually for a minute. But I mean, he was all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. I bet he's probably still the same way. Like we're talking about something, and all of a sudden he looks at his phone. He's like, "Yo, actually, we gotta talk about this," and then just completely shifts the topic from one thing to another.
That
but
still
no,
happens.
I bet no, but it was great. Like it was a big support. My senior year too, I went through a lot of things like breakups and stuff, and Max was there for me the whole time. I was there for him, like through like ups, downs, like funny times, like literally anything. He dragged me to the gym. I just made him get out of his room and actually like see the light because he would spend a lot of time in his own room. But it was great. Like it was honestly that year, like he was probably one of the closest guys that I had on campus, and yeah, like it was a great time.
One went through like 4 breakups senior year.
I don't know, 4 breakups, my guy.
3 breakups with 2 different girls.
Fair enough. Yeah, that was
one time he went to go talk to one of these girls, who like lived.
My girlfriend's definitely not gonna like this when you hear.
What?
His girlfriend's not gonna like it.
We'll cut this then. We'll cut this then.
Okay.
Bro, there's a lot of funny memories from that place.
It's a funny setting too, because like again, it was the doors, the dining hall attached to the gym, and then like a student union where we could hang out, like bull. Like that was all. Like it was not that big of campus.
300 acres of campus and like 298 acres of trees. It was actually surreal. Like I would walk to the gym like early in the morning and like see families of deers like in the forest, because there's like a path to the school from the dorms that was through the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd see like families of deers just like in the morning. It was pretty crazy.
No, especially during COVID, because the only thing we were allowed to do when we were like quarantined with COVID was go for walks. We spent a lot of time going for walks, and we had an outside court too that we ended up working out on.
Yeah, we did. We had an outdoor court that we spent a lot of time.
It was like 9.5 foot rims, like definitely not it, but it was great. It was a lot of fun memories.
All right, bro. I appreciate you making the time today. Our library is about to close, and we gotta upload this stuff. But I appreciate you coming on. It's good to talk to you, and I hope that everything going forward is going well for you, and you enjoy this job. And we'll keep in touch.
Sure. Thank you guys for letting me on the podcast too. I've been following you guys since you started having dial. So
appreciate it.
For
sure. Send me the clips. Send me all the clips from this year and from the season, and especially that clip from Denison, and we'll put everything together. All right, bro.
I got you.
Right. See you, bro.
Hey.
I skipped my high school prom. Now that part of me's gone.